So I'm not even going to bother with tape and a measure tape. Summer is here in Northern California. Last week it was raining, about 50 degrees. Today there's not a cloud in the sky, it's about 85 degrees. And I have been sleeping on the job. All the things I wanted to do to my main squeeze here before summer came around, I didn't do. I haven't done shit to this bike. I haven't even done an oil change. So I'm going to see what we can get done today because, I like to wait till last minute. And there is a big ride to the Sacramento swap meet. I go to the swap meet all the time, but this time there's actually a ride with guys from Crispy and a bunch of other dudes. So I'm going to get some things worked out here. First thing is I need new tires. And I got some new tires here. I got 16s, I got 21s. And while I have the wheels off, I'm going to fix this little quick fix that I put on a year ago, which turned out to be not so quick because I've been riding around on it for a year now. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to weld in a cross member here, probably get rid of this one here, and figure out a way to remount the fender, because I might have to do it anyway because the new tire might be slightly taller than this MT90 deal here. So yeah, so I guess we'll get started here. I'm going to start by stripping everything off, getting it up on jack stands, put these tires out in the sun, get them nice and warm. That's an 18. There's my 16. There. A lot of bikes, I like the Shinko 270s. They have a little older style tread pattern. Man, these are soft. But on my bike, I'm going to use the... Oh, that's an 18. There we go. There we go. I'm going to use the 240s this time, which have a little more of a shoulder to them. And these are actually an MT90 16, so these are like a modern rated tire. So, there we go. Scrape them up real good. Let's get to work. And in preparation for this beautiful 85-degree day, I've got a whole stock of, what, you thought I was going to say beer? Otter Pops. That'll keep me going. Testament to Noco batteries, though. I don't even think you can get these on Amazon anymore. Maybe you can, and it doesn't even look like it's gonna explode. For anybody wondering, this is not an oil tank. This is just a $25, $30 overflow tank that the kids like to put on their Honda Civics, shit like that. But it's pretty nicely TIG welded and hasn't leaked so far. The only thing I did was on the pressure valve on top, I took out the whole pressure valve apparatus, so it's just a straight seal now. And I run my crankcase ventilation tube to the top here, run my return up above, and then my feed down below. So here we go. Really simple, really cheap. Water pop number 2. Piece of some kind of wire stuck in there for, I don't know, years now, I guess. And now I finally get to get it out. There's a little bit of wear on the axle, but I honestly can't tell you if that's from before or after I put this back together. There we go. What the fuck is that? Jesus. I don't know, must not have been important. Alright, this is what we got for our cross member to hold the seat up. This is a, I don't know if you can tell, this is a floor jack handle. But it looks to be 120 wall, 1 1/4 inch or whatever it is, whatever the frame size is. It's the same size. So, we're going to get this cleaned up on the wire wheel, cut to length, and fit it to the bike. It's going way too slow, so we're just gonna hit it with the sanding wheel. There's that all cleaned up, and it'll go just like that. And then we've got our seat posts that will sit just like so. So next step is to get all this cut off. I'm going to chop it here, leave this fender bracket because that's also part of my battery tray, and we'll chop it here, grind these down to the frame, and then of course chop this guy out too. So this whole T section is coming out. Let's do it. number 3. All right. Open sesame. Oh, shit. All right, there's our frame smoothed down, and now we'll get the new cross section. We'll figure out where that needs to go, get it cut to length, and coped, and throw it in there. Oh, my fucking back hurts. All right, I've marked the width of tube that I'll need. So there's just a quick freehand notch. We're gonna see. I think it's a little shallow. We're gonna see how it fits up here. We're just eyeballing it. That's not bad. Alright, we can start working on the other side now. Well, that came out pretty good for just eyeballing it. That is not too bad. Easy to fill in with the welder. Obviously we have to get it up here on the other side of the fender mount, but for that I'm going to need to see exactly how far back those seat posts are going to go. I'm going to start with finding our mounting point, which is going to be up here somewhere. Threw the fender back on just temporarily with just a couple bolts to see how far back we can get this seat to sit without running the risk of it bouncing off this fender here. So, see, I've got it set roughly in place. Obviously it's sitting a little higher than it will when it's finished, but we're going to throw our pegs on there, like so, just like that. Definitely don't like how high up that is, so it's got to go back farther, which means I won't be able to use this bolt-on bracket. I'll have to weld a piece of tube onto the frame. Yeah, that's much better. That's pretty good. So we're going to mark where we're going to have to put our little tube here, our pivot for the front bracket. I mean, that's adjustable, so it could really go anywhere. That's about where it'll go. Yeah, that's looking good. So, this is about the height that it'll sit once I get this leveled and flush with the frame, and then add the seat bolts, seat mounts. It'll be about this high, which means I'll have plenty of clearance between the seat and the fender, which is not what I had before. And the springs can actually do their job. Cool. Alright, we've got our marks scribed in here where we're going to mount the cross member and the seat pivot. I think I'll work on the cross member first. I think I'm going to try to get that mounted and welded in. I'm going to have to cut off a significant chunk of this, probably back to even like here, to do that. So take the fender off again, cut this down, and see if we can get that crossmember in there. Good news is I think both of these tires are both MT90s, so they should be right around the same size. Which means I won't have to change the fender mounting locations, which is awesome. So I do need to trim a little bit more off of here, while still keeping in mind I need to be able to get these bolts in and out with a socket wrench. So maybe another 1/4 inch or so off of there, and then I'm not going to weld everything until I have the tires mounted and I have the fender where it needs to be, because what I don't want is for this to have shifted and the fender mounting to have moved, and then I go to put my wheel back on and find that it's not going to fit. So there we go. So that's where those are going to sit. Profile. It's not bad. Seat's a little farther forward than it used to be, but that is all right. It should be fine. I think you've probably seen before how I like to prep my rims before I change tubes and tires. I just use aluminum foil, takes all the rust spots down, cleans it up without hurting the chrome and making it worse than it already is. So a bit of dish soap, a bit of aluminum foil, and that'll clean your rims up. Right now they're just covered in dirty soap. We'll wipe these off. I'll show you what it looks like. There we go. Definitely better than it was. Pretty rusty before. Got a new tube here. We're gonna put some air in this to kind of stretch it out before we throw it on. Got a tire half on. Let's throw our tube on. Almost forgot our new rim strip. That would have been awesome. Now here's something they don't want you to know. If you are struggling to get your to get your tube inside the rim, you can use tire springs to do it. You just want to make sure that as you're pulling the tire over, I'll show you what we're looking at here. You want to be really careful that you're not pinching the tube anywhere between the rim and the spoon. You want to make sure that nothing is pinching that tube, because it doesn't take much for you to pinch a hole right through it and you have to start over. Of course, lots of leaves. But you see, I'm using the spoon to give myself a little bit of a gap between the rim and the tire, the bead of the tire, and it makes it much easier to stuff that tube in there. But I'm always making sure that I'm getting the tube out of the way of the rim and the spoon. Just like that. See, it's still moving, it's not pinched in between. So let me know what you think. If I'm an idiot, tell me so. Done, a few of these this way, and it's worked out for me. Getting the tube in has always been my least favorite part of changing tires. I don't think I mentioned, but if you choose to do it this way, get your valve installed first. Don't look around trying to get it aligned after the fact. And I like to get a little spin in there, try to work out all the folds. So tube installed. Get the other half of this tire slipped on there. And ready to air it up. There we go. Tire's on. We're going to find our heavy point on the tire and clock it with the valve stem. Put some air in it. Alright, there's our wheel balanced. It took 1 3/4 ounces of weights here, but you can see it's sitting right at a 90. The heaviest spot without weights is right on the other side here, opposite. And just about perfectly balanced. There it is. So, those are tire mounted, balanced, and ready to go back on the bike. It's time. Yeah. Yep, it's done. There's our chain cut. Up. Yep. 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 Come on now, you know you want it. You know you want it. There we go. That wasn't bad. There's our new chain. Got our tire nice and greasy too. That's always a bonus. Okay, we used our calipers here to set the axle adjusters and the chain tension to about an inch, maybe a little more. It's going to stretch out anyway, so we'll be readjusting that very shortly. That's good enough to get it back on the ground, so let's get it off this jack stand, maybe even wheel back into the garage. There you go, assembled, mocked up, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure I want to move this cross member back another ½ inch. I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference. I want to leave plenty of clearance to get those bolts in and out if I need to. That's the idea. Well, we still need to get everything welded in, but that's where the fender is going to sit. This one there pretty solid, it's not moving, so well, now we know that the tire clears the fender, which is pretty critical. Cool. Right, got everything moved into the shop here so I can bust out the TIG and get some of these welds done. I'm going to start by tacking this cross member into place here so that it doesn't shift when I'm taking everything back off. I've checked to make sure that these bolts, with as much room as there is here, these bolts can still go in and out, and I can still get a wrench on there, so that's good. I am undecided yet if I want to use these guys, which are a very clean setup, but it does raise the seat another, inch above this bar, which I may not want to do. I may end up just cutting a piece of, I've got some ½ inch round stock that I can use, or maybe even 3/8. I think I've got 3/8 round stock, which might be better. And I might just weld some studs directly onto here. We shall see. I don't know that I need anything quite this beefy. might save these for another project. So we'll see. That can be done later on, but right now I need to focus on getting this welded and getting this welded right here. So let's get some tacks going. Let's start up the welder. I hope I have gas. Alright, I've got a couple of quick beads run in here. I didn't do the whole thing obviously yet. I'm gonna pull off the fender and see if I can get some more clearance to get a little farther back in there, and then be able to reach that as well. Alright, now I've got everything tacked in. I've taken the wheel off and the fender and all that again to get my final beads run in. So I'm not even going to bother with tape and a measure tape. Alright, I'm not even going to bother with a tape measure and masking tape and a Sharpie and all that. I literally just threw it on there the way I wanted it. I took a punch, marked the first hole. So I'm going to drill it out, run a bolt through, mark a second hole, and so on and so forth until it's done. I'm tired. It's been a long week. Okay, there's one. Enjoy the top of my head for a moment. Okay. There's one. Let's keep going. Alright, I'm all drilled here. I've been trying to decide if I want to run the bolts down towards the tire like that, or if I want to run them up to the bottom of the fender like so. I think I'm going to run them down. And the reason is, if a nut comes loose, I'd rather just the nut get stuck in this fender than a bolt. I'd rather the bolt just kind of popped off the top like that if something came loose. If I go from the bottom, this is gonna sneak through eventually and it'll just get all jammed up in there and it'll mess more shit up. So safer, I think, to run them through the top. What I do wish is that, and I might actually have some, I need some socket cap screws. Stainless would be lovely. I'm gonna check my hardware, see if I have some extra stainless ones laying around. I might have some like 2-inch ones that I'll have to cut down. Well, I checked and I don't have any in this size, the socket cap screws like I've got here, which I would like to use. So I think I'm going to hold off on putting that back on. I'm going to take the fender off and get the wheel back on, get this thing back on the ground so I can roll it back in here and close the garage door for the evening. But there we go. So there's our P-pad mounted. I'm going to take this fender off and I'm going to start working on the studs, and I think I am just going to run 3/8" studs right off the top instead of running these custom made deals, because it just sits up a little too tall for me. I don't really care for it. So I'm going to make some studs and weld them straight onto this crosspiece. Went to the hardware store, got some button head screws, stainless, to match the rest of the hardware on the fender, so we'll throw those on. Well, I broke my TIG torch, so we're back on the Fluxmaster 5000 here. Got our seat pivot burned in. And I'm trying to decide what I want to do here on the back post. I can use these little guys, which is what you're supposed to use. You know, like so. Or save those for a better project. Just throw a couple of these 1/2-inch bolts on there instead, like so. I might shave the threads down and then contour the inside so it fits, and then just run it. So let's see. I decided I was just gonna cut off some a piece of 1/2-inch bar stock that I had here that I was probably saving for a sissy bar at some point. But I'm just gonna use that. So I've got my centers marked here. It's not directly perpendicular. It's not plumb. It kind of comes off at an angle, and that's because the seat actually, the spring sit back a little farther, so they had to kind of bend in, just because of the way I wanted the seat mounted. So I've got this kind of situated with a magnet where I'm going to be putting it. I'm going to put a tack in, tack the other one in, make sure they're square, at least eyeballed, and then I will burn them in. Easy. Threw some the last of my black rattle can on there, shine it up real good. Can't even tell. Definitely got some black spray paint on the inside of my fender. Who's gonna see that though? It's fine. There we go. And I got a little bit of light left, so I'm gonna change this front tire out real quick, and then wheel this shit back into the garage. Wheels off. Let's get this old tire off of there. It's a hot day, so I just filled up on my Otter Pops. Back to work on a bike. We're just about there. Last thing I need to do is put the oil tank back in, put the battery back in, hook it all up, start it, take it for a ride. I'm going to go through and make sure every bolt is tight too before I take it out of the driveway. So there we go. Quick bath with the pressure washer, and we are ready to go. So now I'm gonna start cleaning up the garage a little bit, and also packing a bag. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys.